Hello friends and fellow gamers, it's MKxJUMP here, and in today's video we're checking out the new event for Idle Heroes. But before we do, I'd love to give a shout out to Spectre Gaming, who's decided to back me on Patreon. If you want to be like Spectre Gaming and support the content I make here, why not click the link up there in the top corner of the screen or down below in the description. Anyway guys, let's go check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. This week, every day for logging in, we'll get our hands on 100 cherry puddings, because it's a campaign loot drop event, which means we claim rewards from campaign and also throughout the week and cash them in a special store to get a ton of rewards. Now this cherry pudding is an incredibly yummy cherry pudding, though the cherry is just a decoration. Well, either way, it still is a great item to collect throughout the week. Make sure you're logging in frequently, claiming from campaign. If I show you right now, if you go to the loot button, you'll get your hands on these cherry puddings. So make sure you're doing that, you're logging in frequently, you're keeping things ticking over, because if you don't, and if you max your loot out, you'll stop getting rewards. And ideally, you want to get around 2,400 of these cherry puddings, because that's generally what you can get just by logging in free to play. As well, we'll get our hands on a super wishing coin, which won't help you in any event, but it's a nice way to get rewards and potentially some gold, maybe even a 5-star hero if you're lucky. So you can spin this in the wishing fountain, super wishing fountain, and actually if you spin around you could even get a decent hero such as this 5-star Ithaca which is shown up, which I could spin for, but I'm not sure I need Ithaca copies on my main. If this was my free-to-play account, I'd absolutely love this, but sadly it's not. So let's look at the main events for this week. First of all, Almost Workshop carries on over from last week, so if you haven't had a chance to regress or experiment with your artifacts, maybe you have 2 copies of Snowbell because you spent a ton of money, why not use Almost Workshop to muck around and experiment by having 2 copies of artifacts, mushing them together to make them a little bit more powerful. As well, Glorious Boost carries on over, so if you haven't had a chance to spend 400 relics to pick up an artifact or haven't had the time to save up enough relics to purchase this, you still have a week to go and grab whatever you may want. Generally, Receptor's a really good pick here because it's going to increase the CC of your heroes, whether it's a Cruz, whether it's a Sherlock, doesn't really matter. As well, there's also a Punisher of Immortal available, which means you can deal a lot of damage very quickly. If you pick this up, it'll combo with the Punisher of Immortal I hope you managed to grab last week, and you could even have a glittery one, which will definitely help out maybe an E5 Tix in Aspen Dungeon to help him maybe even carry you to death 100. Definitely a thing worth considering, because completing Aspen Dungeon should be on every player's to-do list when they get an E5, or at least a team of E5 heroes. Unique for this week, we have the value packages. Now, these offer twice as many gems for your books as normal, and they also will give you cherry puddings, scaling down depending on how much you're willing to spend. Same with wishing coins and with profit orbs. This is fairly decent value if you intend on getting what's in the Idler's Sweet House, because you're going to need some more puddings than you can normally get just by logging in if you want to get your hands on anything on the top row. For 2,700, you can get a 5-star selection chest that will give you any hero that's come out pre-Inosuke. Basically, it won't include Morax or the new Dark Hero, but it won't include a Dark Hero anyway, because it's just a normal 5-star chest. So in fact, the only hero that isn't in this is Morax, which is completely fine. Lots of you would love this Inosuke copy because it's going to help you build your first E5 Inosuke, because potentially you picked up quite a few copies during last week's event. So this is definitely a great thing to pick up if you can push to having 2,700 puddings. In addition, 3,100 puddings will get you the Light and Dark 5-star selection chest, which gives you any Light and Dark hero, including Russell and Drake. Forcus isn't in here, which is understandable, but he will be added as soon as he's available in the Relic Store, which is probably going to be in 2 to 3 months' time. In addition, the Mysterious Artifact Selection Chest is a top reward for this event. It costs 2,600 puddings, so you will need to spend around $200 or have a lot of Universal Crystals saved up, which you can use this event to convert for cherry puddings. The great thing about the Mysterious Artifact Selection Chest is that they have never really offered something like this before. I hope this is a common theme. These 3 rewards are brilliant. DH Games, if you're watching this video, please give us selection chests as the rewards always, because just being able to choose which artifact you get is brilliant, because I know a lot of people save up and hope that maybe they'll get the next Augustus Magic Ball they need, or maybe they'll get the next Demon Bell they need, or whatever artifact it is that you're after. Being able to pick up a chest gives you so much more freedom for your artifact choice. So I love this. Augustus Magic Ball should definitely be a big pick for you if you don't already have a Splendid one, because Splendid Augustus Magic Ball is brilliant. To make purchasing this a little bit easier, DH Games have released a crystal package, which is nice. It costs $50, it'll give you 40 glorious relics, 10 cores of transcendence, which is very nice, 300 universal crystals, which can be exchanged now or in the future, and also a luxury 5-star hero selection chest, which also includes Morax, which is interesting. So for those of you keen on swapping Morax when the new light hero comes out, by swapping that Morax for a copy of the new light hero, this is definitely an option for doing that. As well, it's just good value to pick up this many cores of transcendence and relics, all for this much money. The only thing that's a shame is this doesn't give any gems, so that's something worth bearing in mind. However, all this stuff combined is definitely worth the $50 if you're used to spending that kind of money on this game. If you're not, just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. The cool thing about universal crystals, by the way, is you can hoard them and save them up, so hopefully if DH Games give mysterious artifact selection chests more often in the future, we can potentially just hoard up, save universal crystal shards by getting them for reasonably cheap in good value packages in the crystal package that happens each month, and then hopefully at some point you can cash that all in and pick up a very nice mysterious artifact selection chest. So hopefully this is a trend that DH Games will follow. If you can't spend any money or don't have any universal crystals, your options are generally to pick up an Oberon. I wouldn't do this though, he's not a very good hero, he's not a great first E5. In fact, I don't think any teams are using him really. You can do a little bit of Oberon cheese in early levels, or just have a few 5-star Oberons for Guild Wars, but outside of that, Oberon's not really going to do much and he's not worth the 2300. I'd much rather pick up Prophet Orbs or Heroic Summon Scrolls. They are the much better value things to grab, so I'd encourage you to look for one of those two things to spend your cherry puddings on. As well, the Wishing Fountain event is here, and they've extended its cap from 4 completions to 9 completions. So a lot of people are thinking it's worth saving up wishing coins now for potentially a crazy event in the future where we get rewarded additional stuff for doing wishing fountain spins. This is definitely the narrative that Barry Gaming is pushing, and I think he's on the right lines with this. Being able to do a lot of spins in the wishing fountain can potentially result in very nice rewards if you get free stuff for every spin you do. So potentially, maybe this is a step in the direction for us to save up a lot of wishing coins to try and get a full 9 complete when that event does come along. It is hypothetical, it may not even happen, but it is something worth considering. In addition, you also get to obtain Prophet Orbs in there plenty. So if you do 50 spins, you're going to get 2 Prophet Orbs. If you do 100, that's another 2. If you do 200, that's again another 2. And if you get to 300, you get 2 more, and also a copy of Jara and 5 glorious relics. The cool thing as well for it being a 9 complete means if you just fully sweep this, I know it's going to probably require a lot of saving up or even spending of money to do that. However, if you can, you'll get 9 copies of whatever the top hero is, which is enough to E5 them. And if they're giving heroes like Jara now, how long is it until they start giving heroes like Horus maybe? Or even putting Garuda in this? They definitely like putting heroes that can't be voided in here, but potentially that could be an interesting step for DH Games. So I think there's a lot of inclinations that we can get from this event that can tell us how DH Games are going to think about events in the future. Maybe this is just a one-off, the mysterious chests being available. Maybe it isn't. Maybe having Jara is a step in the right direction for getting some really fancy elite heroes from Wishing Fountain. I sure hope so, because they don't normally give elite heroes in Wishing Fountain, so that would be pretty cool. Finally, we have the mysterious chests, the main reason to save gems on any account. This is a great value way to pick up some really cheap resources. So, 5 heroic summon scrolls for 500 gems, that's already a bargain. 100 a scroll is very cheap. In addition, you get 5,000 hero promotion stones, which can help upgrade your heroes to additional levels, so that's really, really nice. For 1,500 gems, you're going to get your hands on 4 Prophet Orbs. Again, absolute steal value, and in addition, 10k monster souls is brilliant. Whether you're in an early account or a later account that's trying to build more monsters, this is very nice. The Prophet Orbs are always welcome for this price, so I think this is worth picking up as well. In fact, I'm going to buy both of these right now to even solidify that point. For 2,500, we're going to get a Skin Shards package and 3,000 Chaos Stones. If this package was released last week, where actually swapping skins was a thing you could do, I could see the value of this being a little higher for newer accounts especially that don't have Skin Shards packages. However, that's not the case, and actually 3,000 Chaos Stones, is it worth the 2,500? Probably not, unless you just have a ton of gems and you really need skins to upgrade skins to Legendary. It's unlikely that this is going to be worth your gems. And also for 4,000 you can get your hands on an elite 5-star hero shard and 35k magic dust. I don't really see the appeal of this too much, except for the fact that the magic dust could be useful, but with so many events now that reward magic dust, especially Imp's Adventure, which is next week, it doesn't seem like spending 4,000 gems on this is the right thing to do. I'd much rather spend 4,000 gems on Imp's Adventure and get better rewards then. So make sure you're going into next week's event with at least 4,000 gems saved up, because you're definitely going to need it to purchase dice to get the best rewards you possibly can next week. And finally, the 8,000 gem chest. Now, a lot of you will look at this and go, ugh, Morax, why? In the past, we've had Amun-Ra from this chest. We've had Ticks from this chest. What could possibly be good about Morax? Well, first off, Morax can clear Seal Land 20 for the Abyss, so he's not a bad hero. In addition, he's very new. So people wanting to pick up Morax copies to swap them for the new Light Hero when that comes out, this chest in theory is a copy of the new Light Hero if you have 10 Eternity Crystals, or whatever they're called, saved up. As well, the 30 Glorious Relics and the 30k Guild Coins is just good value, so getting the Morax copy on top of that is just gravy in addition. I really like the idea of purchasing this for a lot of people that do have the 10 crystals, because at the end of the day, getting additional copies of Light and Darks is very difficult because you can't really pick them up with ease after they've been released until they're released into the Relic Store or Light and Dark chests. So there is this weird waiting period of 2 to 3 months for when these heroes are made available. However, getting the Morax is a shortcut if you have 10 Eternity Crystals, so I would definitely encourage people who have the 8k gems to spend on this and 10 Eternity Crystals to absolutely purchase this. If you don't have 10 Eternity Crystals, is this still good? Well, probably, because Glorious Relics are good value and 30k Guild Coins are definitely going to help you out. So for most people that are established players, you probably have Eternity Crystals. And for people that aren't established players, the 30k Guild Coins are a massive help. So if you can, try and grab this 8k chest, because it's also really nice value. One final thing I wanted to take a look at is next week's event. We know Imp's Adventure is coming up, which is very, very nice. There's going to be an adventure package, which is a way to purchase more dice. Of course, that's going to cost money, so don't get too excited, free-to-play players. That's nothing for you. But what is fun is the shelter mission. That's right. Sia is available. Olivia is available. And Ithaqua. This is going to absolutely skyrocket the free-to-play account and potentially even let me overtake Barry. I am very excited about this additional Ithaqua copy I'm going to pick up, because I know for a fact I already have the Shadow 4 stars prepared. Delacium is also really tasty, and being released with Ithaqua is a nice touch. Both of them pair very well together in PvE, so I really like that they're being released together in Shelter Mission. And finally, Mim and Asmodel are available. Mim is okay for people that already have Mim, but I wouldn't encourage anyone to build a Mim now in 2021. He's not really a hero that's doing anything, especially for the fact he doesn't have Void Enables. One interesting thing about Mim, though, is if you do have one at E5, he can do some cheese stuff in Interdimensional Arena and maybe Guild Wars, but is that a justification to build an E5 hero in the Dark faction? Probably not. You're much better going for someone like Carrie, Drake, or Forkis, because they are much more established heroes in the meta. And Asmodel, it is worth bearing in mind, he is going to be a Void hero coming up in the future, so if you don't already have 9 copies of Asmodel and you were planning on building him as a Transcendence hero, like I am, grabbing Asmodel copies is very useful. It will cost you 2,000 gems next week, so we'll cover that a little bit more in next week's video. And if you do want to catch these event reviews every Friday, be sure to subscribe to the channel to catch that information. So that's this week's event. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Is this an event you're excited for? Is it one you're just going to snooze on? Well, either way, make sure you're logging in and collecting as much of the campaign loot drop rewards as you can so that you can purchase as much stuff as possible from the event store. In addition, guys, let me know what you're going for. Are you going to be pushing to get a Light and Dark chest? Are you going for the selection chest? Or are you just going to pick up Prophet Orbs and Heroic Scrolls like you probably normally do? Let me know in the comments section, guys. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you wanted to check out some more of my content, you can find it here on the side of the screen. Anyway, guys, I wish you all the best. I hope you have a great week with this event, and happy idling.